Hi everyone, here's a video of Frank Turek answering the question, why would a good God allow a place like hell?
Why would a good God allow a place like hell? Well, there's really no other choice. If there is an afterlife, and there is, you're either going to be with God in the afterlife, that's what we call heaven, or you're going to be separated from God in the afterlife, that's called hell.
Why does separation from God have to mean eternal fire and torment? Why can't it just be a state of non-existence, like how before we were born? And even if it does have to be that way, then why isn't God doing a better job at preventing people from going to hell?
And people who don't want God, He won't force them into His presence against their will.
So are you implying that all non-Christians just don't want the Christian God to be real, and that's why they're not Christian?
You can't force somebody to love somebody else. Love must be freely given.
Yes, you can't force someone to love someone else. It doesn't work like that. You're only able to force things upon people in which those people can choose. If I held a gun to your head and told you to love me or I'll shoot you, would you love me? You might lie just so you don't get shot, but you can't freely choose to love someone else. Now, if a loving God means you'll go to heaven, then that's an impossible standard. I cannot choose to love God, meaning me going to hell would not have been of my own choice, and it would have been beyond my control. Me not loving God wouldn't have been my fault, it'd be God's fault.
So God's Spirit, I believe, as I think the Bible declares, comes to all people. God wants all people to be saved, but some people just don't want to be saved.
Well, I'm an atheist, yet it's not that I don't want a God to exist. Does that mean I'm safe from eternal hellfire?
They want to do their own thing. In fact, the question I ask people on a college campus more than any other question is this: if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian?
Nope.
I've had atheists stand at the microphone in front of hundreds of people, and I ask that question, and they say, no. No? Why not?
Being a Christian would involve worshiping God. Okay, but here's the thing. The God of the Bible, if real, would be a bloodthirsty warmonger. A God that creates humans knowing he'll send the majority to hell. A God that threatens pain upon those who don't love him back. A God who instructs his people on how to own slaves properly. A God that creates humans with the sole purpose just to worship him over and over again. A God that deceives people. A God that takes away free will so they can be punished. A God that murders babies. A God that commands humans not to murder while also murdering cities of people. That's why I wouldn't be a Christian.
Well, it turns out that they'll admit the answer is not intellectual. The answer is more volitional. It's not a head problem, it's a heart problem.
It being a heart problem is a bit justified when God has a higher kill count than any mass murderer.
They don't want there to be a God. Why? Because they want to be God of their own lives. They don't want to answer to anybody else.
Okay, so non-Christians decide to not be Christian because they want to be God of their own lives, even though the majority of non-Christians still believe in a God that isn't themselves. Muslims aren't Christian, and they don't claim to be God of their own lives because, well, there is no God but Allah.
They want to do their own thing. Well, that's what hell is. You get to do your own thing, separated from the ultimate source of love and justice in the universe. The being, I should say, who created the universe and sustains the universe. Now, there's some misunderstandings about hell. Hell is not a torture chamber. The Bible does not talk about torture, it talks about torment. And torment is more internally driven than externally driven.
I don't know, screaming and weeping due to the melting from eternal fire, probably wanting to die but not be able to, eternal pain due to the unbelievable torment. That kinda sounds like torture to me.
And I believe, and I think the scriptures teach this, that even people who are in hell, while they don't want to be there, don't want to get out. If you read Luke 16, the rich man isn't telling Lazarus, get me out of here. He's saying, come serve me, Lazarus, like you used to. But go tell my brothers they don't want to come here.
You think that everyone in hell would just rather stay in hell? I very highly doubt that.
Jesus says, hey, they've got Moses and the prophets. They won't even believe if somebody rises from the dead. Notice, it's not a matter of the head, it's a matter of the heart. People don't want God.
Prove it. Just prove it. You can't. This is another one of your claims you have no evidence for. yet you still claim it because it sounds good for your religion.
So when people say, why does God send people to hell? I say, because God won't force people into heaven against their will.
Well, that's the end of the video. I don't know. I just don't think I'm very convinced by apologists when they tell me that I just don't want God to be true. That's why I don't believe. Well, that's the end of the video. Thanks for making it this far. I very much do appreciate it. If you do like this video, then leave a like on it, and it also help a lot if you subscribed. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.